Alive and alert on the north side of the dirt. It is your man D-Real coming at you with another Be Real with D-Real, where Edutainment explains it, and we dropping down into the alley where it all began. Where all what began? Here, I'll give you a hint. Oh my, what's that doing in an alley? That's a strange place. A bunch of skulls. Well, we're gonna be talking about spawns and spawn adjacent characters in this video right here. But before we get off into it, I need y'all to do what y'all always do for me. Comment, like, subscribe, and share the Be Real with D-Real page so that when the material comes out, you get it if you're digging. What a brother shoveling. Put some dirt in my bucket. Comment, like, subscribe, and share, because edutainment is what I do. Now, we're going to have us a couple of spawn-based characters or actual hell spawns. For me, it is a little bit of both. So since we're doing a top 5, I'm going to kick it off with 5. 5 is going to be the Redeemer. Let's give you a little more. There you go, right there. That is the Redeemer. Let me take his sword down so he don't look so crazy. There you go. So the Redeemer, while not a hellspawn, is a being designed and created by the forces of heaven to eradicate hellspawn. And the first hellspawn, the first Redeemer, ironically, was Jason Wynn, somebody who had always been trying to kill Spawn. But back then, they were called anti-Spawn. And there was another individual. Actually, there have been 3 individuals to be anti-Spawn / Redeemers. And the last one seems to be the most, I guess if you want to say, ruthless, bloodthirsty about his work. That would be this one. There was also a Dark Redeemer, and I'm going to show you why we ain't doing the Dark Redeemer. Because other than the color scheme, the Dark Redeemer is exactly like the first Redeemer. So why do I even need to break this cat out of the plastic? Right? Right. So as far as winged heroes go, or winged action figures, let's just go with that. They are a little more difficult to maintain, in my opinion, because sometimes the wings get so top heavy that it is difficult for it to stand. But in this case, since we got you in the alley, you're good. Lot of detail on that character. Lot of detail on McFarlane characters in general. He does a pretty good job. I think that's his strength is details. And if that ain't a most detailed action figure, I don't know what is. Probably not the most fun action figure to deal with, but I mean, like I said, look at that doggone detail. Look at those wings and those feathers. It does fall into my top 5. I like it. I like the look of it. I like, the energy it gives off. Spawn Killer. It's basically what that is. See, good thing you're in the alley, buddy. You'd have fell smooth over. But anyway, hence my point about winged characters. So that takes us to my number 4. Number 4. Everybody talking about number 4. Number 4 would be the Plague. Now, unless you are a huge fan of Spawn and all things Spawn, you have no idea who the heck the Plague is. Well, the Plague is the very first ever Hellspawn, okay, created by Malbolgia and the Violator. But this one proved to be so uncontrollable and so, out of, just he was a sadistic, bloodthirsty Hellspawn, didn't do what nobody wanted him to do. So he had to be locked away. Eventually, he got freed. His power got absorbed by Cagliostro. Cagliostro went bad, for those of you that don't know, if you didn't keep up with Spawn. Yes, but Cagliostro eventually went bad. This one here, I think, is just kind of like, get back there. That's standard Hellspawn fare. You know what I mean? With that look, that vibe, that same kind of, energy that a Hellspawn gives off. And there's your Plague in the alley. Extremely powerful, could do all the things that Al Simmons Spawn could do, and maybe a few more things. But eventually, he ended up being naught but a power source. Nice looking though, you know. And for those of you that like having like creepy crawly creatures around on Halloween, look no further than the Plague Spawn. Look at that detail on that character. Look at the detail on that character. That's a nice looking Spawn. And this comes along with this Spawn, just in case y'all didn't know. Now, moving on to a much cooler Spawn than this is our number 3 Spawn. Take that with you. That brings us Ninja Spawn. Oh, yeah. Ninja Spawn made his appearance in Spawn comics, but it was more of a, I guess, cameo than an actual appearance. Spawn was fighting another opponent and called upon this Spawn for assistance. Other than that look and that a couple of appearances and him being drawn on a cover, we haven't seen a terrible lot of Ninja Spawn. Again, Ninja Spawn, mad detail, got the evil green eyes, like all Spawns are supposed to, and he's packing not one, but 2 sets of double blades. So you could either give him the katanas or you could give him the scimitars. And he's really posable as far as kicks and, kung fu movement, things of that nature. So, yeah. Ninja Spawn's code. Plus, I like ninjas. So I'm going to give him the ninja look and let him do his thing. You know what I'm saying? Boom. Ninja Spawn in your face. You can get you a little better angle right there, like that. That is a beautiful looking figure. So when I do my ninjas video and y'all see all the nice ninja action figures that I have, you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, he's about that life. And then that's the one thing I look at here on this figure. Look at his feet. His feet are just dark. So is that someone of African descent, African American descent? Is that someone of Middle Eastern descent? Because that foot got a lot of, what I'm saying, darknesses on it. But I like that figure. That is a very nice looking figure. Ninja Spawn. Now I'm gonna take y'all to my number 2 figure next. And he's had a few more appearances in comics anyway than Ninja Spawn has. And that next one is going to be boom. Medieval Spawn. Let's pan out a little more so we can get a whole picture of them. Stepping back a little bit. There you go. Now that is detail in an action figure if I have ever seen it. I mean, look at the chains. Excuse me. Stand up straight. Look at the chains, the detail on the chains. And Medieval Spawn comes with not one, but two weapons. He's got a sword as a man dressed up as a knight should have. And he could probably rock both weapons at the same time because he's not a small fellow. Medieval Spawn is a whole beast. So, I mean, when you look at him, he's the gigantic, brutish in size, kind of dude, who could definitely wield two big weapons like that. You know what I'm saying? If you look at this one, you look at the detail on that hammer. Look at. Wait a minute, let me bring it down there to you so you can see it. Look at what's on the hammer. It's a hell spawn symbol. I don't know if you can see that. I'll pull that out of his hand and give you a close-up. How about that? Bam. There. Now can you see it? There you go. That's nice stuff. Now, Medieval Spawn made his debut in the early days of Spawn and even had a couple of stories in the Tales of the Spawn comic. Basically, he's a knight that did the same thing that Al Simmons did. However, this particular Spawn eventually gets killed by, wait for it, Angela. Yes, that Angela, Thor's sister, Angela, took this hell spawn out. But for the most part, this hell spawn has come back in modern times and teamed with Al Simmons, and they've had adventures. So Medieval Spawn is my favorite Spawn because, number one, he's big. And when you look at him, for instance, and see him standing next to Ninja Spawn, how about we just do them back to back? There you go. Size-wise, bulk-wise, he's a lot. He almost looks like the Mountain from Game of Thrones. He's much bigger than the Ninja Spawn is. Just making a point for size reference choices. That is your Medieval Spawn. And the detail, I don't even have to say nothing about the detail on this armor, bro. Look at that. Look at the detail on this armor. This is probably the most beautiful bit of armor I've seen in a while that don't cost 50, 60 bucks like those Mythic Legions. Because to me, I will put this right up against Mythic Legions as far as, they charging $60, $70 for their action figures. But I think the huge difference is it's cloth and it's not, this material here. They actually have, cloth stuff going on. But yeah, Medieval Spawn is that's a nice looking action figure. Now, if this is my number two, what do you think is my number one? The answer might surprise you. My number one favorite Spawn action figure? Bomb. Spawn 3 from the 1996 line of McFarlane toys. Yes, it's been around that long. Those chains actually hang and dangle like chains would. Okay, you can see that. Spawn's a little sleepy today. Let's put him right there. All right, now he ain't gonna be falling asleep. There we go. Look at that Spawn. Look at the detail on that. Look at the detail on that figure. And this was back in when 94 when Spawn first dropped. And then 5, 6 years later, or 4 or 5 years later, Spawn had a movie with Michael J. White in it. Now, here's the cool thing, or the cool two things that I like about this action figure. One of the things that Spawn is known for his cape. That cape being free flowing and wild and out there. And when we saw the Spawn movie, that was one of the things they spent most of their special effects on, was Spawn's cape. So we need that kind of stuff popping off in a Spawn action figure. Bam, bomb, and boom, y'all. This cape flips out to about, I think, 11 inches in width. Wow. Let's back up a little bit and see if we can get a full shot. Yes, of Spawn's cape. That's fire. That is what I love about this figure. That's one of the things. The second thing I love about this figure, right here, y'all. Raise that arm up. Look at what them eyeballs do. You get in close there. Those eyes have that glow. You got that glow. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we doing with Spawn. That's how he rocking out. You put that arm down and those eyes go out. So this by far, leaps and bounds, is my favorite Spawn figure. And then you can fold these wings up, drop them back down, and we playing little Spawn again. You know what I mean? Fold that down, put that down, and clack. Spawn is manageable again. So there that is, y'all. That is my number one Spawn. Now, the crazy thing is, this thing stands at about 6 inches. Whereas you sit him next to that medieval Spawn that we was looking at earlier. Bruh. That thing looks like a behemoth compared to little bitty Spawn. His cape is barely taller than medieval Spawn. So you got a big hulking medieval Spawn. We might do a side by side, maybe in some pictures or something. But right now, you looking at my favorite Spawn, right? Let's get them lights on. Bam. You looking at my favorite Spawn right there in the alley, getting things done. Al Simmons. What y'all think about the Spawns, man? This is a nice birthday present for myself. What y'all think about these Spawns, man? That's it for now. But fret not. I will be coming at you with another one of them other ones. And until I do, y'all be good and be good to each other.